Hello! Today I'm trying something a little bit different. I've been talking about clothes and random little things for a little while, but today I wanted to do an artist highlight. This week we're going to take a look at artists who have a really particular style that is really easy to identify. People who as soon as you take a look at their art, you're like, I know exactly who made that. I've been fortunate enough to commission a few of them, but obviously not enough of them just yet. So let's jump in. The first artist we're going to talk about today has probably my favorite style and is just my favorite furry artist ever, and that is the amazing Muzz. So I remember when I went to FWA 2017 for the first time, I saw badges for the first time as well. People would have their laminated badge around their neck or maybe on like a backpack on the side. And they always had this particular style that stuck with me. And I remember when I was getting a little bit more back into the fandom this past summer, I was looking for the artists that stuck with whatever was in my head as far as what badges really look like. And eventually I came across Muzz on Fur Affinity. Her badges are just insane. They're just so good. And you can easily tell whenever you look at any one of them that it's one of her badges. Her style is unbelievably consistent when it comes to the badges specifically. She doesn't just do badges, she does headshots, she'll do full body things, half body. On Gumroad, she shares her portfolio for the year. So she'll show sketches and works in progress and full art pieces. It's honestly staggering, the consistency and the quality of everything. I mean, she's a pro, so I'm not surprised, but it's really impressive. Also on Gumroad, fun fact, she has line art bases that you can color in with Photoshop, and I really highly recommend those. I actually did a few line arts from her myself. They're really easy to color in, and I just kind of spent some time with Photoshop, picked out some colors depending on the persona I was working with, and then shaded it however I wanted to. Just make sure to credit her. Muzz commissions tend to fill up somewhat quickly, but I wouldn't say she's impossible to get a hold of. I pay attention to her Fur Affinity. She'll make a post whenever she opens up. There's also an email list, I believe, that you can subscribe to. And she doesn't like it when you've got a long wall of text, so I'll just try to think of something clear and simple. Maybe try to keep it to a paragraph or less. Muzz has a coffee page as well if you're not interested in necessarily doing a commission or you're trying to wait but you still want to give her a lot of support. That coffee thing is always super helpful, and I'm sure she would absolutely love that. She's absolutely just my favorite artist, and I'm obsessed with her work. So yeah, that's Muzz. The next artist we're talking about is Sicarina. Sicarina is one of the slightly less popular artists on this list. The thing is, in the furry fandom, there's so many amazing artists that I feel like some just don't get as much exposure as they deserve. I think I found Sicarina on Instagram. The first thing that jumped out to me with her style was the eyes that she draws. They're just so bubbly and fun. And her overall style feels, for some reason to me, this is ambiguous, but soft and dreamy, and then bubbly as well, are some of the words that come to mind when I'm trying to think of how to encapsulate her work. She does avatars, she'll do avatars with multiple characters, half body stuff, I think some full body stuff. I think I commissioned her through Twitter DMs, but she'll do commissions through, I think, Instagram as well. Sicarina also has a coffee page if you're financially unavailable or just want to give her some support. She totally deserves it. But if you want something nice and just round and cute and gorgeous with amazing eyes, check out Sicarina. She's got wonderful art. So that was Sicarina. The next artist we have on the list also has a very distinct badge style, and that is SparksReactor. SparksReactor has a really just clean, consistent badge style that, again, whenever I went to a furry convention for the first time and whenever I saw his stuff again online when I was getting back into things, I was like, I know I've seen so many badges of this guy's work. You'll see a lot of people on Twitter and Fur Affinity having icons and avatars from SparksReactor. His avatars and headshots and those things showcase a lot of details, whether it's things in the hair or just in ruffles in the fur. And obviously it'll vary depending on which one you're looking at, but they look wonderful. SparksReactor also does some full body stuff, which I think deviates from the consistent badge style, but he gets to showcase some wonderful soft shading and shadows. It looks like SparksReactor mostly accepts commissions through his website, and he'll show you the prices in terms of service and all that stuff on there, and you can just submit a form. If you're looking for a badge for your new fursuit, or you just want a wonderful representation of your character, if you're looking for someone to really bring them to life, SparksReactor is going to give you a great version of them to look at that'll be recognizable, and that you might be like, oh yeah, that's kind of like what I was seeing in my head. Sparks also does ref sheets. Some of these other artists I think do ref sheets as well, but some of the Sparks ones you can find online, and they're very clear and just wonderful if you don't feel like doing all that Photoshop work or finding a free to use one online. And obviously, if you want any wonderful full body work with amazing lighting and stuff like that, Sparks is someone who you would not regret going to. I love his full body stuff. So that was SparksReactor. Next on the list, we're talking about Faunbutt. I love the name. Faunbutt goes by Feve on Fur Affinity. She has an amazing lineless style that immediately jumps out to me whenever I see it. It almost has this proto 3D sort of vibe, like almost like it was made in Blender or something like that, but very just clean and soft. Faunbutt avatars are huge, like everywhere. You'll see them on Fur Affinity, and I see them a lot on Twitter. And whenever you look at her art, you'll see why. They're wonderful representations of people's characters. I think that soft look has this almost weird blend between realism and being very fake and cartoony, because it doesn't have thick lines, but obviously isn't super like hyper paint realistic either. Everything just looks and feels really smooth. A couple things from her I would recommend taking a look at. She has some bases on Gumroad. I used one like canine headshot one that I colored in and was really happy with. She has these peekaboo commissions that aren't part of her standard queue. They're for like when she's on breaks or in between things, but they're super adorable. They're wonderful for avatars. She can do a square version and a circular version, but they're so cute. It's just like a little tiny version of your character. I commissioned one and got it back from her a couple days ago, and I love it. I also just found out that she has a website where she sells adorable stickers, and there's like socks on there. Check out her website too. It seems by popularity, her thing is really icons and avatars and those kinds of headshots. But she will also do half body, full body stuff. She accepts those commissions as well. With the peekaboo commissions, I sent mine through a Fur Affinity comment, so everything is kind of kept up through there. But it looks like she'll take it through Fur Affinity notes and Twitter DMs, and also directly by email. If you were to commission anything for a first time with her, I think the lineless icons would be good. Or if you want to do that peekaboo, I'm so happy with mine. So that was Faunbutt. Last and certainly, definitely not least, we have Fleurfurr. I mentioned Fleurfurr in my sock video, reason being that most of the art that I've ever seen that includes striped thigh-high socks and sleeves and stuff is from Fleurfurr. Fleur posts a decent bit on Reddit, so I think that's actually where I found him first. You'll see a lot of his art, especially if you go to r/furry, and it'll pop up in Furry IRL, especially when people are talking about those thigh-high socks. He does really adorable art, being in maid costumes, or baking cookies, or there's like femboy hooters and some of those things. When it comes to Fleur's style, Fleur has this sort of like just 2D cartoony style, relatively simple shapes with just enough detail to where you can tell that it's very, very well done. I personally really like watching these speed paints that he has on YouTube, where you can actually see sort of the process that goes into his work. My personal favorite is the Jaeger one. Fleur does a lot of headshots and icons, but I think I usually see Fleur's stuff with actually full body. He's probably the only person on this list where you see mostly full body work. My Fursona Ike that I made in the summer is a deer, and Fleur jumped out to me for some of the deer that he had made in the past. They're just so cute, and like deer in general are cute, but like in fursuits they're adorable, and in Fleurfur's art they're so freaking adorable. If you want to commission Fleur, a couple things I will say. From what I can tell, the commissions close very, very quickly, so you might want to sort of watch them like a hawk. Fleur also has a Patreon. Some of the tiers on his Patreon will give you like first dibs into getting on commissions, which could be good. I don't know that those tiers are always available. I'm pretty positive if people could pay him a monthly fee to get like one piece of art a month, there would be like hundreds of people and he would never do commissions ever again. But I would check out his website. I think that's one of the better ways you can make sure that he's actually open. If you want to try and get in on his commissions, I would totally recommend just trying to go for a full body thing, because he just has a wonderful style with a full body artwork that's kind of hard for me to explain, but it's really charming and playful is probably a word that I would use. They're just really cute. If you want striped thigh-high socks or sleeves, Fleurfurr is like the golden standard for that I would definitely check out. That was Fleurfurr, and that's it. Whenever you try to commission art, try to be as prepared as you can be and be respectful. Usually artists just need a clear reference of some kind. It doesn't have to be a perfect reference sheet oftentimes, but something where they know where things are on your character, what the colors are, so provide like an actual palette if you can, what their name is and their species. And be respectful. Things come up with artists sometimes, life stuff happens, they are human beings, even though they look like a cute fox or gatorpotamus, I think is what Muzz is. They are a human being, and so are you. Just try to be honest with them, let them know what you want, and work with them. I hope this was interesting, and I hope it was helpful for both the people wanting art and for the artists themselves. If there's any artists you want me to talk about, I can see if I can group them up into a theme, and they'll probably show up in an episode. I love all the visual art in the furry community. I love talking about it and taking a look at it with you, and I hope I can introduce new artists to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am RenardFox, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!